everybody. This is Will Sellenraad, and welcome to another episode of Story Behind the Collector. Today, we're going to be talking to Ben, and Ben has just a great collection. He's got 5 different cars from 5 different manufacturers, and each one of them is very significant. Here, we're going to have him come over, and he'll explain every one of these cars. So, I'm real excited to have Ben join us. These are Okay, so you want to give us the year, make, and model of this car?
Absolutely. This is a 2002, the first year of the 575 Maranello. What I loved about it was that this was it's unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
The fortunate ability that I was able to take on was that I bought it during COVID, beginning of COVID, and the pricing of the exotics were becoming more, if you will, acceptable for me.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to get this in California.
Okay.
And the car it had the various options that I've never seen in other vehicles that in terms of Maranellos. The diamond stitch interior, diamond stitch luggage section,
Mm-hmm.
and also the diamond stitch headliner.
Okay.
So that was something that I thought that moment I saw it from a photography perspective from the dealer, looking from the front to the rear, you could see the diamond stitching, which the option was either it came carpeted,
Mm-hmm.
or it came flat leather or diamond stitch. Obviously, those are the level of.
So do you think that was done at the factory then, the
Yes.
diamond stitch?
Yes, this was done at the factory, the diamond stitch.
Okay, so I wonder if Ferrari has some kind of an individual program where someone individualized it, you think? Or do you think that Ferrari just automatically, was that an option?
Yes, it was an option.
Okay.
It was an option.
And it looks great. It gives it a real nice luxury look.
Yes, absolutely. And when you say luxury, that's what this car is for me. It hits
Mm-hmm.
hits all the marks in terms of space. You can see the difference, the greater space between the passenger and driver. I'm 6 foot. By sitting in the car, it's not tight. It's very
Mm-hmm.
luxurious, spacious, and on top of that, it's in terms of the performance and the acceleration in terms of the horsepower. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, because you have the 12-cylinder in
Correct,
there, right?
absolutely,
So you have
absolutely.
all that horsepower
Absolutely.
up front. And this is really, I mean, it's not so much a 0 to 60 fast car as it is a car. I mean, it's still fast, but it was really designed more for touring.
Correct,
right,
absolutely. Grand Touring. That's in
Yeah.
fact that's why I have the F1 GT Grand Touring on my vanity plate.
Mm-hmm.
This was the first time in which they put in the F1, the paddle shifting,
Okay,
because prior to that was the 550, which was all manual,
all gated.
all
yeah.
gated, yes. And there was very few that they made that were for the 575 Maranello that were manual. So, but from my perspective, my other cars are all manual, and by me having I just in traffic,
Mm-hmm.
and getting up to speed, coming down. This is long distance driving. It's
Yeah.
a pleasure.
I'll bet. And it has a smooth ride because you got a long wheelbase on it.
Yes, very smooth ride, very smooth ride. These were very rare rims, the Hammond rims, which came off of a 550 Maranello, which I was very fortunate to find. So I put those on. I do have the original stock rims that came with the car, but this gives it, to me, I look at it.
Is it a bigger diameter too?
Yes, it is a bigger diameter. Correct.
Okay.
Yes, and it looks like when you look at the rear, from the rear, and for me, I just love the way standing down.
Yeah.
And you look at the parkway. I look at it almost like a pit bull.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you coming in from behind. Don't mess with me.
Yeah,
it's
it's a serious statement.
Yeah, exactly.
It's and what's Hammond then, or Hammond? Is that the?
That's the aftermarket company that makes the Hammond rims.
Okay.
And it would be a Hammond Especial because it has the performance adjustment to it as well.
Most times we wait and save the best for last, but this time we're not going to save the best for last. We're going to save the best for third out of the 5 cars, and let's talk about this absolutely gorgeous car. I mean, I love this burgundy color.
The color is called Russo Vic.
Okay.
Red, obviously, for the Russo, and Vic is named after the dealership that collaborated to bring Lamborghini and the Monterey Edition vehicles to a dealership in Platinum Motors.
Okay.
And the speciality of this car. This is number 5 of 20 made. The purpose and the rationale for the design of this is based on the Lamborghini was the featured manufacturer in the Monterey Concourse event in Monterey, California, in 1998. Lamborghini and the gentleman Vic was able to determine that they wanted to do something very special, and their flagship sports cars, if you will, for Lamborghini at the time was the SV, Spinto Veloce, pushing fast. So what they did was they started with making the car first off very unique in itself. So that's why they only made 20. Each one of the 20 is distinctively a unique color. So each one is one of one.
Okay.
And this one in particular is number 5. Now it has a number of different unique features versus the regular factory SV. One being has the SC30 rocker panels. Unlike the standard SV, there's one vent and it's facing forward. The SC30 has 3 ports and one vent but facing the rear.
Okay.
Next distinctive is that obviously the seats. The seats state Monterey Edition on this etching, as well as the stick shift knob, carbon fiber stick shift knob. Another distinction is the carbon fiber side skirt panels when you step in. Now with this one, I was very fortunate enough that the owner, the original owner, when I had all the manuals and all that, I found that the labels of ownership was not defined by the original owner. So he reached out to me and stated, Ben, why don't you just send to Lamborghini with your identification information that you're the owner, and they will be able to post your name on it. Okay. I sent those 2 plaques. They go on the rockers, and I was able to get my name posted.
Excellent. And when did you acquire this?
This would be 2009.
Okay. And at that time, I mean, Lamborghinis were still very special and popular cars, but they haven't gone up in value as much as they have lately, right?
Absolutely.
They were still kind of a unknown investment, if you look at it that way.
Very much so. And at the time, the Diablo or owners that wished to acquire them, they were pushing to get the Murcielagos. Okay. So that's the reason why the Diablo wasn't similar to what's happening now with the Murcielago versus the Aventador. Now the Murcielagos are going up in value, and versus what's happening with the Aventadors. So, and this for the Diablo is truly the 100% Italian-made supercar. No collaboration with Volkswagen, Audi, or any of that company. Volkswagen owns Audi, obviously.
Yes.
And that's what's happened with the Murcielago. This is fully, and this is the last of the fully Italian-made Lamborghini.
And how many miles do you have on this car?
I have actually 13,500 miles.
Okay. What will we see here? Is this a 12-cylinder?
12-cylinder.
Oh boy, is that gorgeous!
And also is very the firing order, which is I find very special that it actually Lamborghini posts the firing order.
Now, did you do anything to this engine to customize it?
No. The engine is factory. The only thing that I actually did to add my flavor to is obviously my initials. Okay. And I had the plate here matched to the color of the body. Okay. Because normally it would only come the same silver going straight through.
And what about on the valve covers then? Did you paint that red there too?
No, that came that way.
Okay.
One of the things that I found very interesting, which I was very fortunate to get, and let me pop open this, is fitted luggage.
Oh, look at that. You got a blue piece of luggage in there.
This is the tire inflation.
Okay.
Package, which has a in case you get it flat, you have the liquid, pump it in. But this is never used. It's factory. It's still there. But this is a 5-piece luggage set. It has actually a attaché in this, and I've never.
And this came with the car.
Actually, Actually, this came with the car, but I was very lucky to find this or get this acquired.
Okay.
They have the car won the Concours d'Elegance in Connecticut,
Oh yeah.
and one as I was going through it, and obviously very pleased. I was up against the F40, surprisingly enough, a Lotus Esprit Turbo, and other vehicles high end. And we were in a supercar class in a circular pattern. And at the end, I won. Now, one of the things that I really appreciated from the Greenwich, Connecticut concourse is that just because you have the vehicle doesn't necessarily mean that you'll win the concourse.
Okay.
You have to know the history, which adds to it.
Which they interview you.
Exactly.
The judges come over, they ask you a lot of questions.
And they know the answers. And they want to see if you can add to their information, or if you are consistent with their information, or if you know anything about it.
And I would think that you would score higher as an owner rather than a third party, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So in the end, I won the supercar class. This was in 2012. And later on, as I'm home, my wife says to me, did you order some package or material for your Lamborghini? And I said, no, I didn't. And I came home. I was at Price Waterhouse. I came home, and I see a box, Lamborghini box. And I opened it up, and it's the luggage.
Who sent it?
Lamborghini, with a letter saying congratulations on my concourse event.
You think they were there?
I have no idea. It was it was in one half of it was in Italian, other half was in English, and they
so
said,
it came
"Please."
from Europe then.
Yes. This is a 2012 Callaway 25th anniversary, reminiscing back to the point of when Callaway was the option, the B2K option, through GM. And they could order it through the dealer directly, and then Callaway would build the car, reminiscing, going back to the point of their 25 years of Callaway's efforts within the Chevrolet industry and GM. This particular one is number 3 of 25 built.
Now, did you buy it when it was already a Callaway car, or
Yes.
did you have Callaway modify it?
No. This,
Okay.
This is the 25 were always built by Callaway, and then the dealers, were the one specific dealers that were assigned that could actually get the car,
Get an allocation.
Get an
so
allocation.
Chevrolet dealer selling it.
Specific Chevrolet dealers with Callaway collaboration and connectivity. Because you couldn't go to, say, I'm just going to argument say a general Chevy dealer and say I want a Callaway 25th
So did you buy
anniversary.
this from a specialized Chevrolet dealer then?
Actually, I bought it from the barn in Miami. I bought it in the barn in Miami. The car originally had, when I bought it a year ago, had 1,200 miles on it.
Okay.
I've put 400 miles since I purchased it. Now it has 1,650 miles on it, and it's phenomenal. It has the very accented.
So was this a car you had on your list then to buy this Corvette, or was it just a car that kind of came up and you said, "Gosh, I gotta have that"?
Actually, I had a 1990 Callaway Aero Body CR1, number 10 of 11 built, and what I love about it is that the uniqueness of the car, and I'm very friends with Reeves Callaway, and also I'm got acquainted with his son Peter, and I've always had this uniqueness of all my cars have this uniqueness of my desire to have them, and with my CR1, I was driving. I had the car for talking about 20 years.
Okay.
And I said, you know what? I've personally kind of outgrown. The car is performing the same way it always has, but I outgrew it.
Yeah.
So last year I said, you know what, maybe it's time for me to look for another vehicle that checks off the boxes. That it's a Corvette, obviously. It's a Callaway, and it's rare. So this one, as I stated, this is number 3 of 25 built. The delivering horsepower was 620 horsepower, 550 foot-pounds of torque. It shows the uniqueness of what Callaway added to make this Grand Sport the 25th anniversary and made it especial for the under the Corvette under Callaway. And the option, which was the 25th anniversary package, was $52,980.
On top of the
cost of the factory of Grand Sport.
Yeah.
And each of the cars were built by GM unique already in terms of the color and in terms of the interior that Callaway would add to it to make it more unique.
Okay.
For example,
very cool.
the rims are specifically, you can see Callaway, and they're black carbon and carbon chrome, black chrome if you will, sorry. And the top, if you can see, has a distinction of the darker gray.
Yeah, I see the contrast.
And makes it very, very beautiful in my mind.
Yeah, it really breaks it up. Looks good. I like the suede.
Yes, it's Alcantara suede, black interior, and actually it's called ebony interior. And the you see the steering wheel has the accents of carbon fiber with the suede, and the collaboration with the red stitching. And
oh yeah,
I like the points of the accenting of the carbon fiber throughout the various points in the car.
Wow, it smells brand new.
Oh, yes, yes. So, this is a 1996 Viper. This is the Indianapolis pace car that was used in 1996. They were established and designed based on the Daytona, Shelby Daytona. This is the modern version, if you will. Now, this is strictly you're riding on the motor in terms of performance. There's no support in terms of anti-lock brakes, driving ability. You know, obviously it has power steering, it has AC.
But there's no nannies here.
There's no support nannies in terms of exactly. This is made strictly for straight line acceleration. The color, they made approximately about 1,000 of these, and this one is 223 in the sequence of them being made. This one has the special rims. Now these are aftermarket rims. I do have the factory rims, but I just wanted the factory rims for me do the rims the car justifiable in terms of looks in my preference. So I had these custom made. They still have the factory center cap with the Sneaky Pete on it, and I put in a boiler exhaust, very good. And it's a very performance-driven vehicle, but again, straight line acceleration. This is not, if you look like all the other four, if you're going in a straight line and you want to go from left to right, and accelerated speed, you have to be very careful with this, because the back will almost like drift.
And there's no nannies, there's nothing to prevent you, there's no alarms to say we got you.
Nothing.
It's like you're on your own.
So,
and it's probably less refined than of all the cars, right? It's
absolutely.
a little more visceral.
Absolutely.
But that's the way it was designed.
Exactly. And the design, which is purposely looking, because this is the first year, you see the hump here. This is actually on both sides for space for when if you're going to drive and put it on the track for your helmet.
Okay.
And that's what that is. And this also, which is uniqueness of this, and that's what I liked about it, it has the pedigree of Lamborghini. A lot of people don't realize that. But because of the V10, Lee Iacocca, when he was the controlling interest of Lamborghini, it was the Cola Wars, obviously GM with the Lotus, controlling interest of Lotus, that's why they built the ZR1. Then you had Ford, they got involved with Jaguar. They came up with the SVT division. Now you have Ferrari, Dodge. They wanted to compete with the ZR1, back then, and they went with Lamborghini and say, look, we want you to build, design an engine that we can design and build for our car, which was the Viper. The Viper came, they created, now a lot of people don't realize it, but the block on the Viper V10 is the same block, just slightly modified for the Yardo.
Interesting.
So,
I did not know that.
So that's where it has the pedigree, if you will, the Lamborghini influence in the designs of the Viper, meaning the Gen 1 and Gen 2s, not moving forward Gen 3 and so forth, but Gen 1, Gen 2 with the V10. My desire of vehicles kind of came very late. My father owned a Texaco and Sunoco back in the early 60s and 70s, and reverse psychology, I was always going into the shop. Unlike my friends would say, hey, we're going to play football, we're going to go soccer. I said, unfortunately, I'm going to have to go to my father's shop and I'll be pumping gas, working on cars, such as that.
Making your college money.
Exactly. And, but with that, it was a reverse psychology because I said, I don't want to own a car. I do not want to own a car. I do not.
That is contrary.
Yeah, contrary. I had a collection of BMX bicycles.
Okay. And how old were you at this time?
It's going to normally like 16. You get your permit. I had no desire of getting a permit.
Wow. Okay.
No desire. And then one day my father had gotten a 1982 Corvette, and I was
smitten.
Yeah. He said, why don't you take this and get my permit? All right. Now keep in mind, I'm 19.
Yeah. Now, would have this been the fastback, or was it a convertible, or what?
No, it was a 82 cross fire injection Corvette.
Oh, okay.
Cross fire injection Corvette. And then I said, wow, this is really something. And in my mind, the shape of the Viper is pretty much it has the subtleties of a 82 Corvette. So I said, you know what, I like it, and sure enough, I had started saying, you know what, I'm going to have a checklist of the cars that are always on that I want to do, and if I can get them, I'll get them, and I keep them.
And what does the future hold in terms of your collection?
Right now, I'm pretty much stable. This is pretty much what I've done, I've achieved, and I enjoy each one of them. And there's nothing that out there at this particular moment that has stricken my desire to acquire something additional. But these have hit all the marks as we mentioned. They're very unique in themselves, and they satisfy my desire of every single point that I look forward to. So the Porsche, as we mentioned, I drive that quite often, and I enjoy that. The Ferrari, that is for grand touring. I'm a member of the Ferrari Club of Long Island. Very collaborative team, very collaborative friends, and I enjoy the ride. It spoils me, I have to honestly say.
Yeah, it's a beautiful car.
The Diablo, that was something as a child I wanted. Everybody has their poster of that particular vehicle. I love the Countach, and because of my height, the Diablo was more desirable and more suitable, and I was able to, knock on wood, that hit all the marks, and I was able to get it at the proper time. The Callaway, this is something that is very special to me. I knew Reeves. I give his condolences to his family. He was a very special, very honorable, very friendly gentleman, knowledgeable, supportive, and this is why I love that also adds to an intangible value to the vehicle, which I desire and I appreciate. And then with the Viper going back to the history of the Indianapolis 500 and Shelby. I love the color. Blue is actually my favorite color, believe it or not. And this really stands off. And I've added a little more of my view of cosmetic flavor that appeals to me.
Yeah, beautiful collection. Ben, thank you very much. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.